Tonight and tomorrow night on your Fox News channel, the man who killed Osama bin Laden will be debuted. It's a 2-night documentary being presented by the Fox News channel and is hosted by Washington correspondent Peter Doocy, who joins us now on the line. Peter, good to have you on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Brian and Larry.
Okay, listen, I know that in the raid on bin Laden's compound, there was a lot of operational security. But I have read that in this particular project at Fox News, there was also a lot of operational security to keep the project secret. Talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get into what you have learned in this process.
Yeah, this actually started last year. I've known Rob O'Neill for a long time, but we first started talking about the possibility of a big interview on air like this last year. And in the infancy of the project, we wanted just a small group to know, because that's something that you want to keep a big secret. And so anytime that we needed to book travel or order a camera crew, we used the code word Gatewood. And that's because in the late 1880s, there was an Army Lieutenant, Charles Gatewood, who is the guy that led the raid on Geronimo, the Apache chief. And, of course, Geronimo ended up being the Pearl word that the SEALs used so that they didn't have to say over the radio, "We've got bin Laden." They could just say Geronimo. And so we used that, and until just a few days ago when we put out the press release, I guess about 2 weeks ago now, Geronimo or Gatewood inside of Fox was still a big secret.
That's interesting. Little cloak and dagger stuff within the halls of Fox News Channel. Peter Doocy, tell me, did Mr. O'Neill know that he would be the one that landed that final shot against bin Laden? It could have been anyone in the team, right?
It could have been anyone, and originally the plan was for him to be doing something else, a different job on the raid, and he kind of explains what he was supposed to be doing, what the plan was, and how he ends up second on the stairs to bin Laden's bedroom and taking those final shots. And it is, this is a story where obviously everybody knows what happens in the end from the title. He kills bin Laden. But to hear him tell it and just to see his face is remarkable, and it's very compelling. That's why we need 2 nights.
All right, so I am going to watch, and I'm very interested, and I've said publicly, I think that the public needs to hear this story, but it is not without controversy, and you have no doubt noticed that some people have been very critical of the fact that Robert has decided to tell his story.
Yeah, and he's aware of that, and it's not unexpected. But we address the controversy, we address potential security problems and also issues that people might have with him telling his story. And he has very thoughtful answers where he goes through his thought process about why still, despite all of that, this is the right thing for him to do.
There have been some books written about this, but most of them anonymous. And I wonder, was there ever a discussion with Robert O'Neill about maybe having the interview but cloaking him in darkness and concealing his actual identity, not revealing his name? Would you have taken the interview if those were the conditions?
We never even considered that. From the very beginning, this was going to be, I want to tell the world what my name is, and they should see what I look like. And so that was never even a discussion.
I wonder if you asked this, does he have an opinion about the fact that the American public have not been able to see a picture of the corpse of Osama bin Laden? I think many people at the time and still believe that would have been an important thing. Again, sticking with this theme of the people have the right to know this information.
We do revisit that, and, he has a very unique, I don't want to give away too much, but you got to remember he's got the most unique perspective on that of anybody on the planet, because he's the one who took the shot that split bin Laden's face wide open. And so we ask him about the pictures and whether or not people should see them, and he does explain, he says whether or not he thinks they should see them, but he explains why.
When you get in a big project like this, you go in with sort of, in your mind how it might play out, how the piece will come together. And then my experience has always taught me that when you get into something, there's always a surprise. There's always something you didn't expect. Can you share with us something that you found out that you were really surprised to learn?
I was really surprised at how emotional the story is for everyone else who sees it. Obviously, I know Rob. I know that for some of the more tense conversations that he had with his family before he went, there was going to be some emotion. But our editor, we had an editor who worked on just this project all summer long, and he did such a beautiful job of laying out and of really demonstrating the emotion that Rob was feeling right before he left and that his family was feeling before he left. And they didn't even know where he was going, but they had a few conversations, and the way that our editor and our producer laid everything out, it is just amazing to watch. It's like you're there in Afghanistan with Rob, getting ready to go.
Our guest is Peter Doocy, Fox News Channel's Washington correspondent, and he is the man who got the interview with the man who killed Osama bin Laden. That's the name of the show, broadcasting tonight and tomorrow night at 10 p.m. on Fox News Channel. Most of us, I think, Peter Doocy, have an understanding of this event through the film Zero Dark 30. Did Mr. O'Neill participate as an advisor on that film, and did you discuss how close to reality that film really was?
He did not participate in any of that. This is actually the first thing that he has lent his name and his face to. He did speak anonymously to a magazine last year or 2 years ago, but this is the first project that he is participating in, and we do talk about how close it was. I know it is. We also ask him, this is not the only mission that he was on that movies have been made about. He also participated in the raid that saved Captain Phillips, and he also was a member of one of the teams that was out there looking for Marcus Luttrell. And so he's got one of the most unique perspectives of anybody who has served, and we ask him about all that.
There have been some reporting in the last few days about this. And I've read that you feel that some people have gotten some of this stuff wrong.
Yeah, no, and obviously, once his name and his face got out there, a lot of people have tried to get ahead of us. And some of this stuff in articles that have been published about Rob and about his family in the last few days are not correct based on our interviews and based on our reporting. And so we are going to be able to set the record straight. And when the 2 hours are presented, they will stand alone. And it's really a historical document that we've been able to put together. It's not like anything that you've seen on Fox before, for sure.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Peter.
We are.
Hey, thanks, Brian, and thanks, Larry.
Peter Doocy, Fox News Channel's Washington correspondent. And again, it's the man who killed Osama bin Laden tonight and tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Fox News Channel.